is now 4:30, opening the meeting under 1.0. Is there a need for an interpreter?
¿Hay necesidad para un intérprete?
Thank you. Thank you all for being here tonight. 2.0, call to order. 3.0, roll call. Our student board members are not here today. That would be Adrian and Ziana. Merced?
Here.
Freddie?
Here.
John?
Here.
Sabrina?
Here.
And myself, if we can all please stand for the flag salute. Mr. Espinoza?
Ready? Begin.
Thank you. 5.0, consent calendar. 5.1, approval of special board meeting minutes for November 14th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Merced Zamora. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. 5.2, approval of regular board meeting minutes for November 18th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Sabrina Gomez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. 6.0, awards/presentations. 6.1, plaque for board president. And at this moment, I turn the remainder of this portion over to our clerk, Mr. Mendez.
Thank you very much, Board President Lopez. Good evening, everyone. Before we proceed with the formal organizational meeting, I'd like to take a moment to express our gratitude to our outgoing Board President, Mrs. Alice Lopez, for exceptional leadership and dedicated service to our district and our community. Mrs. Alice Lopez, your tenure as president has been marked by an unwavering commitment to putting students first, your ability to bring people together, and your strategic thinking, having significantly contributed to our district's growth and stability. Among many of your contributions, we particularly want to highlight the successful launch of K-3 neighborhood schools, your mentorship of new school board members, and your advocacy for schools in the community and your actions taken in the best interest of our organization. On behalf of the entire board, the administration, staff, and the community of Farmersville Unified School District, please accept this token of appreciation. Plaque states presented to Ms. Alice Lopez for honorary service as school board president, board of trustees, Farmersville Unified School District, December 2024 through December 2025. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. And I'm not leaving, I'm still here, and I hope to still continue supporting our students and staff and community. Thank you.
Next, we do have the organizational meeting. This portion of the meeting is dedicated to the school board organization. The first portion is election of officers. For president, Ed Code 35022 requires that the governing board shall elect a president from among its members to provide leadership on behalf of the governance team and the educational community it serves. Do we have a motion for president?
I make a motion for Sabrina Gomez.
Second.
We have a motion for Sabrina Gomez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. John Alvarez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Action 5-0. We have a position of clerk. Ed Code 35143 requires that the governing board shall elect a clerk from its own membership at the annual organizational meeting. Do we have a motion?
Motion for Freddie Espinoza.
We have a motion for Freddie Espinoza. Do we have a second?
I will second.
We have a second by Ms. Alice Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Action is taken, 5-0. The appointment of secretary. The governing board shall appoint the superintendent to serve as secretary to the board. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Alice Lopez. We have a second by Mr. John Alvarez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Action is taken, 5-0. Establishment of board meeting dates as presented. January 13th and 27th, February 10th and 24th, March 10th and 24th, April 14th and 28th, May 12th and 26th, June 9th and 23rd, July 14th and 28th, August 11th and 25th, September 8th and 22nd, October 13th and 27th, November 17th, December 8th. Do we have a motion for the establishment of board meeting dates as presented?
Motion.
We
Second.
have a motion by Mr. Merced Zamora. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Freddie Espinoza. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Action is taken, 5-0. Authorized signature forms in accordance with Ed Code 42633. The governing board files with the county superintendent of schools the verified signatures of each person authorized to sign orders in its name. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. John Alvarez. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Alice Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Action's taken, 5-0. Board representative to vote in the 2026 election of county committee members. Do we have a motion?
Motion for Merced.
We have a motion for Mr. Merced Zamora to be the representative in 2026 in election of county committee members. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. John Alvarez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Action's taken, 5-0. The certification of district clerk election. Do we have a motion?
There was no election, so,
Was it name?
certifying who you selected, which was
Motion.
Freddie Espinoza.
What did that mean?
Motion.
oh, for that clerk.
Motion
Okay.
Freddie Espinoza.
Okay, second.
We have a motion for Freddie Espinoza by Mr. John Alvarez. We have a second by Ms. Alice Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Action's taken, 5-0. This is information only. Forms to be completed by the school board, registry of public agencies, governing board member informational sheet. It is now 4:39. We shall adjourn. Please join us. We'll take a brief break. Join us for some refreshments, and then we will resume with new members and new seats for our regular school board meeting. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
I just wanted to mention that food service department prepared something real special tonight for the board and the community and staff.
Mrs. Mendoza, will you give us a bit of an insight into what was created for today?
It's tortilla gravy, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and
Oh, my goodness.
And tamales? Fantastic. Everyone, please enjoy it. Thank you.
Call this meeting to order at 5:01, 1.0, opening of meeting. 2.0, call to order. 3.0, roll call. And we don't have our student members, so we'll go with Alice,
Here.
Merced,
Here.
Freddie,
Here.
John,
Here.
and myself here. I need to learn to write and talk at the same time. 4.0, adoption of agenda. 4.1, adoption of the agenda is requested as presented with addendums to 13.3, 13.4, and deletion of 13.1 and 15.10.
Motion.
Second. I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 5.0, consent calendar. 5.3, approval of release warrants dated November 13th, 2025, in the amount of $166,278.49. November 20th, 2025, in the amount of $1,033,882.34.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by John Alvarez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 6.0, award/presentations. 6.2, student board member report. We don't have any students today. They are doing their college courses. Thank you. 8.0, public comments. Members of the public may address the board on any agenda item or other item of interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board before or during the governing board's consideration of the item. The board is not able to discuss or take action on any item not appearing on the agenda. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. Please begin your comments by stating your name.
The board asks that during public comments, everyone be respectful to speakers. Members of the public shall not interrupt or interject while another person is giving their public comment. During public comments, there shall be no use of foul language. Should a member of the public have a concern about a specific employee, we ask that you direct those concerns to me following this meeting so that concerns can be handled through the proper procedures. Please do not use employee or student names during public comment. School board, we do have two members of our community, two staff members that like to address the board. We do have Miss Megan Hoyt, we have three, Miss Megan Hoyt and Miss Deanna Puga to address Snowden field trip request for funds.
Good evening, members of the board, superintendent. I am Diana Puga, third grade dual language a teacher at Snowden Elementary. The third grade teachers of Snowden Elementary and I are here tonight along with some of their former teachers asking for your support to help us advocate for our Farmersville Unified students. There are only a couple of us here, but we hope that you can picture 106 students standing right behind us, many of them hopeful and excited for the chance to go on this trip to Monterey Bay Aquarium, a trip that is a staple to third grade. Learning does not happen Learning doesn't just happen inside of the classroom. Real learning also happens outside of campus. A visit to Monterey Bay Aquarium would let our students explore ocean life up close and bridge our classrooms to the real world. We hope that you understand that for many, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Our families support their children in any way they can. They volunteer, they encourage, and they help fundraise. But even with all that support, the cost of a trip like this is a challenge for many of our families, and including ourselves, the teachers. We hope that you can help us overcome that challenge and open this door for them. Now, I'd like to speak to you as a former third grade student here at Snowden Elementary. I myself went on the same field trip when I was their age. It is truly a staple. Everyone just knows that third graders, they go to Monterey Bay. This experience stuck with me, and I want our students to feel the same sense of wonder and hold of this memory. To give you a glimpse of our classroom, whenever students take a test, they're very hopeful of great results. As soon as they finish, they can't wait to see their data donut. And while they wait, they cross their fingers. They say, chonguitos, chonguitos, chonguitos de buena suerte, hoping for the best. Now we find ourselves doing the same chonguitos and hopeful that we get to experience this field trip. We have several fundraiser ideas planned, but we're worried that we just might not meet that expected amount to cover expenses. Tonight, we're hoping that you also see the same vision that we do. With your support, 106 of our Snowden Falcons can experience this third grade staple field trip to Monterey Bay Aquarium. Thank you for your time, and thank you for believing in our Snowden Falcons.
Good evening, members of the board and our superintendent. My name is Megan Hoyt, and I'm a third grade teacher at Snowden Elementary. I wanted to take a moment to share how important it is our third graders attend the Monterey Bay Aquarium field trip this year. This trip has been a long-standing tradition for decades, one that students across Farmersville Unified eagerly look forward to as a highlight of their elementary experience. The Monterey Bay Aquarium trip is not only fun and memorable, but also deeply educational. It brings science, ecosystems, and the ocean life to life in a way that classroom instruction alone simply cannot. For many of our students, this may be their very first time seeing the ocean or visiting a world-class science center. Experiences like these expand students' perspective and strengthen their love for learning. The quote for buses and the full field trip for 2 days is approximately $10,000. Our administration shared that $3,000 is available to contribute. Because Snowden has more students and classes, we must divide the trip into 2 days. Unlike Hester, who is able to attend in 1 day, we also learned that Hester's trip is fully funded. We strongly believe that site equality is important. All third graders in Farmersville Unified deserve access to the same opportunities, traditions, and experiences, regardless of which school they attend. We are here today to respectfully request financial support from the board to help ensure our students are not left without the valuable experience. The Snowden third grade team has already begun researching fundraiser options such as Texas Roadhouse, Seas Candy, blackout calendar events, and coffee sales. However, because this field trip has always been funded in the past, we are unfamiliar with the process and will bring formal fundraiser proposals to the next board meeting. For now, we wanted to make the board aware of the situation. Hester has the funding to send their third graders, and Snowden does not. We are asking, will the board provide the financial support needed so that all Farmersville third grader students can continue this long-standing tradition together? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Ms. Nora Alstead, agenda item F2.
Good evening, board. So I have 2 quick items. Number 1, I wanted to say when I looked at the board packet online, I was excited to see 15.5 and the nice list of needs at our school sites. I do have to say I was a little sad not to see more about the portables at Snowden. I understand buildings are expensive. I know we no longer have those categorical fundings that said, this is what's gonna go to your building plan. What I am asking, and again, Mr. Mendez, sorry, I'm not supposed to say names. Mr. MOT Director, thank you for this extensive list. I know we can't do it all right now, but can we come up with a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan so that we are refreshing, we're replacing as we need? I'll say this because there is a Snowden kindergarten teacher here. It would be fabulous if our kindergarten classes had water in the room. You know, I mean, sending little ones on their own to the bathroom to wash their hands when we get after activities. Sometimes they get lost. Sometimes they come over to my room. They do. That's okay. The second item I want to address with you is I'm not sure how many of you know what Prop 55 is. Okay, it started out as Prop 30. When that was going to expire, it became Prop 55. We are now working to get a new proposition on the ballot for next year. What 55 is, some of you may remember it was called the millionaire's tax. For California schools, $14.6 billion since it's been 55. I have the exact amount that Farmersville schools received in the 23-24 school year, $3,762,218. Okay, that's a big chunk of money, and that was 24-25. The current proposition is set to expire in 2030. As somebody who's been on many bargaining teams, you know, we have this kind of running thing that where our staff person comes in and, you know, we hear the district give us numbers. Well, in 3 years out, we're not going to be, and we're like, no, yes, you can afford that. If we don't get an extension, and actually what the plan is or the hope is that the proposition will get on the ballot for next year, that the voters will vote it in, and that will become permanent. I can give you the name of the new. It's 250016, provides permanent funding for schools and health care by extending existing tax on high incomes. Initiative, it's a constitutional amendment. Okay, so this is not a new tax, it's just extending something we are currently doing. I won't read all this to you because you see how small that is, but I am going to send a couple copies that you guys, if you'd like to look at it during closed session, you may. We are hoping that you all will sign on to a petition to get this on the ballot. Okay, remember, that's all we're doing at this point is we're trying to get it on the ballot so that then the California voters in 2026 can vote on whether we're going to extend this and make this permanent or not. And the reason we're doing it now, when this doesn't expire till 2030, well, how many years out do we have to do projections? Okay, next year's gonna be 2026. That's running us into the 29-30 school year. And I really would hate to be sitting at the bargaining table when the district says, well, we can afford this right now, but in 3 years we can't because we're losing 20% of our funding. And we're going to have to sit there and go, yeah, we know. We don't want bigger class sizes. Okay, so that is my ask. I will send several copies with you when you go into closed session for you to look at it and then choose to do as you will. Thank you very much.
Okay. 8.1, superintendent comments.
Yes, good evening. I want to express my sincere appreciation to our school board for their continued commitment to working together to ensure that every student, every staff member, every community member is represented. Thank you for your collaboration, your thoughtful decision-making, and the time that you devote to planning the success of our district. By working together, we strengthen our promise to each and every single student and family in Farmersville Unified. I also want to extend my deepest gratitude to our administrators, our teachers, our staff, your dedication to providing instruction and meaningful learning opportunities for all Farmersville students. Your saints. As we get closer to winter break, I hope you take this time to enjoy the festivities, the musical concerts, the plays, the activities our amazing students and staff have ready for you. We do have a musical concert, a couple choir concerts, EK graduations, plays, just amazing opportunities for us to see our children and display. And the collaboration of the teachers and the time that you take to guarantee that the students produce the very best in Farmersville. So, and then after that, that you take some time to get ready for January. So this is a perfect time for you to recharge and you spend your quality moments with your family members as well. So I do always want to encourage and tell everybody that great things are happening. It is our perspective, it is our viewpoint. It's things that we project here in Farmersville, so Farmersville up.
Perfect timing. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mendez. 10.0, K through 8 issues. 10.1, approval of California All-State Music Educators Conference, CASMEC, on January 14th through 18th, 2026 at Sacramento, California. First noted.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0.
Thank you.
10.2, approval of California All-State Music Educators Conference, CASMEC, on January 14th through 18th, 2026 at Sacramento, California for Hester.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0.
Thank you.
10.3, approval of Tulare County Office of Education's Poetry and Prose on Stage on April 15th, 2026 at Visalia, California.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Merced Zamora, second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 10.4, approval of donation for Mike and Cindy Austin for Hester Falcon Celebrations.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 10.5, approval of donation from Kona Eyes fundraiser for Hester Falcon Celebrations.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Merced Zamora and a second by John Alvarez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 11.0, high school issues. 11.1, approval of Talent Search campus visit to UC Davis on January 29th, 2026 and February 5th, 2026 at Davis, California.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by John Alvarez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 11.2, expulsion, re-entry.
Move. Second to accept the recommendation.
Okay, and Mr. John Alvarez,
Second.
motion, and Alice Lopez, second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Okay. 12.0 curriculum. 12.1, approval of LEA Medi-Cal billing option program provider participation contract, LEA BOP.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.2, approval of California Association of School Social Workers, CASSW conference on January 12th through 13th, 2026 at Bakersfield, California.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza, second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.3, approval of mind-wise signs of suicide.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.4, approval of SELPA Alternative Dispute Resolution, ADR conference on March 19th through 20th, 2026 at Riverside, California.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.5, approval of Aries Con Spring Conference on March 10th through 12th, 2026 at Monterey, California.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by Freddie Espinoza and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 12.6, approval of 2026 through 2027 school calendar and 2027 through 2028 school calendar.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 13.0, personnel. 13.1, approval of classified personnel. 13.1.2 through item 13.1.3.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions?
Do
All
we,
in,
do we have to state this or no? Because we stated in the beginning of the meeting.
Right, it was an amendment.
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Good question. 13.2, personnel action report, information only. 13.3, approval of 2025 through 2026 compensation and health and welfare benefit adjustments for certificated and classified management employees.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. Do I read that first? 13.4, approval of first addendum to the business manager / CBO employment agreement. I didn't read that. All right. This item is the board's discussion and consideration of an addendum to contract of employment with Chief Business Official Edgardo Monroy. Thus, before the board is the first addendum that contains the following compensation items. For the 2025 through 2026 fiscal year, the CBO salary schedule shall be increased by 2.4%, 40%, consistent with the increase other classified management employees received. For the 2025 through 2026 plan year, the district's contribution toward premiums for the CBO's health and welfare benefits shall be $1,436.75 per month, consistent with the contribution the district granted to other classified management employees. Is there a motion to approve the first addendum?
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by John Alvarez.
Yes.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. I had to do the same. Okay, sorry, guys. 13.5, approval of first addendum to the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction Employment Agreement. The board will now consider an addendum to the contract of the employment with Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Eduardo Ochoa. The first addendum provides for the 2025 through 26 fiscal year, the Assistant Superintendent's salary schedule shall be increased by 2.40%, consistent with the increase other certificated management employees received. For the 2025 through 26 plan year, the district's contribution toward premiums for the Assistant Superintendent's health and welfare benefits shall be $1,436.75 per month, consistent with the contribution the district granted to other certificated management employees. Is there a motion to approve the first addendum?
Motion. Second.
Is there a second? Yes. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0.
Freddie Espinoza, Merced Zamora.
Yeah, sorry, thank you. Okay. 13.6, approval of first addendum of the employment agreement for the superintendent. The board will now consider an addendum to the contract of employment with Superintendent Manuel Mendez. The first addendum provides for the 2025, that says 226, fiscal year, the president's salary schedule shall be increased by 2.40%, with the increase other certificated management employees received. For the 2025 through 26 plan year, the district's contribution toward premiums for the superintendent's health and welfare benefits shall be $1,436.75 per month, consistent with the contribution the district granted to other certificated management employees. Is there a motion to approve the first addendum?
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez, a second by Merced Zamora. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. 5-0. Okay. 14.0 Board Business. 14.1 Consideration of any item any member of the board wishes to have on future agenda to provide a written update. Ms. Alice Lopez?
I'd just like a regular update, while we have several projects, going on. Just regular updates as to how they're going, the timeline and so forth, so that we keep on top of that.
I heard regular project updates, timeline.
Yes. I know there's some on there that there's reasons why we can't get to them, so, just stay on top of that. Thank you.
Okay. Merced?
I do. On the issue of being consistent with communication, especially regarding sports, I'm wondering, my question is, how are coaches communicating with students or parents regarding sport activities? Are they doing it just by cell phones? Or are they using Parent Square where parents are included and they're not necessarily communicating straight with the student?
I heard sports communication, specifically sports, but anytime that our students are being communicated with any adult in our.
Correct.
Okay, so then I heard the example of Parent Square or anything else, if there's any other apps.
Or another platform that they're using, that way they can, or parents are involved, not necessarily straight with the coach to the student, but parent being the direct point of contact.
Thank you.
Mr. Alvarez?
Basically the same thing. I know they use band, which is great. And the parents are on that as well, which is good. The other issue is, a common contract for the entire district, as far as the, sports programs, and being able to play 2 sports at once and things of that nature, so the children know exactly what their rights are. We have a common contract, and not everybody making up their own. Another thing is what's happening with the cafeteria or our new student lounge. A little heads up on that, where we're heading with that. If we're gonna bring that back to the board for approval to start building that building, at least get it to engineering. Sounds like we may be heading in the right direction. I'd like to move forward with that. And then I guess this little thing with our field trips, I'm sure you have some kind of a budget set up, which is great. I think I'd like to have a little more insight on that and what we can do as board members to assist with those type of things for our children. We'll start with that. And it gets Sabrina started on a good year.
This is what I heard, common contract, sports program. I know this has been a common thread that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I think the idea of getting our athletic directors from junior high and high school specifically getting together, find a common contract. I know the junior high has been working on some things, and so has the high school. And then maybe have something presented to the board.
And then also too, is it beyond our capability of requiring CIF certification to be a coach in our district with walk-ons and or otherwise? Finding that, taking that course is very enlightening as to what a coach is supposed to be doing.
Okay.
It's great that we win, but it's also to build character in the children,
Okay.
right? And that gives them that freedom of speech and they become strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also you said field trips.
Yeah.
So specific to the presentation that was given today. some
Exactly.
value and support.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Espinoza?
The only thing I noticed was that I think, kind of messaged you on Sunday, just the lighting. I noticed, I don't know the timing, if we've changed it because it's getting darker sooner. It just like when you look at the high school, it's pitch black. as you're passing by, and just want to make sure the lights and everything's turned on at a good time for everybody and as they leave the school district, and also just making sure the buildings are safe. That way nobody's going over there tagging it or breaking into the buildings.
Okay. Lights because of time adjustment.
Mhm.
Thank you for that email or text messages.
Okay, I don't have anything outside of what they've already brought up. I think when it comes to the, communication, Mr. Alvarez mentioned, band. I think it would be good for the district or the sites to come up with a policy that all sports are using the same thing and figure out if there's a way to have it monitored from the AD's perspective, so that way if anything comes up, he's ahead of it and able to step in when needed. Okay, that is it for me.
And I'm not familiar with band. Band is a platform.
It's an app, yeah.
athletes use.
Band app.
Or
Yeah.
big band.
It's a band app.
Okay. Specifically for the
It's
band.
for the
teams,
band.
But sports use it as well.
It started with music, and it's now being used as a bigger platform.
Yeah, I'll have to show you one day.
When we meet, I can show you that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's called band.
It's really good though.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for,
Enjoy your evenings.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna come back more. I don't know.
no need for dinner.
Yeah, they're not in closed session yet.
Okay,
Talk about money now.
15.0, business services. 15.1, presentation of first interim report. Oh, he was right there waiting. It's go time.
Good evening, Board. Superintendent Mendez, and congratulations.
Hear which one it was?
Yep. So I'm gonna just share the presentation that's in the packet and walk you through the report. So this is our first snapshot of this school year's quarter one revenue and expenditures. And so I'll summarize it for you. It's a lengthy report, but essentially the main items that we're gonna cover are all the fund budgets, the multi-year projection, our cash flow, our minimum reserve requirement, some of the main items in the criterion standards, and then just report out to you what the certification status is for this report. So, first slide here is the unrestricted general fund financial position. So on the left-hand side, you'll see some of our revenue streams. LCFF, that's enrollment and attendance based. That's our primary funding source. So higher enrollment equals more dollars, or better attendance equals more dollars. We have some state and local revenue and some, not any federal right now, but that's 38.4 million. Then on the right side, you do see the major categories for expenses. And of course, it's salaries and benefits. It's about 82.8% of our total unrestricted expenditures. So most of the revenue is going towards salaries and benefits. That does include certificated and classified salaries. Any questions? I'm going to show you now the restricted side. So here on these bar graphs, you're going to see some federal revenue. For example, we had all the ESSER COVID funding go there. We have Title I and some of the other title programs. The next one is the state. That's after-school program, arts and music. Not Prop 28, but arts and music. and then some local funding, usually property taxes, and then contributions that we make. So for routine maintenance and for special education, that's 1.9 million. So this represents the restricted side of our general fund. Restricted meaning it's got specific criteria attached to this funding. So specific to allowable expenses and non-allowable things. So they're intended to support specific things. So another example of a state grant is our community schools grant. So those are all represented in that middle graph or bar there. That's the largest one. All right. So this next section is these the 3-year outlook, the projection. So for this year, 51.8 million in revenue, 58.7 in expenses, and then our ending projected fund balance will be 21 million. That's combined restricted and unrestricted. So because of the restricted dollars being spent down, that fund balance will go down over the next couple of years. In some cases, we have the money already sitting in our accounts, just waiting for us to spend it, which you'll see in the next slide. So here are the 3-year projections. So current year, we're projected to end at 21 million. And if you just read straight from the top down, you'll see it's revenue, expenses, what the net change is for the year with your ending balance. Next year, spending revenue in 49 million, so our revenue is going down a bit. We're looking at whether enrollment is something we have to really address, and I think everything is pointing to, yes, we need to look at enrollment. Expenses are going down a bit as well, so we're obviously going to be adjusting as we move into the out years as grants expire. But the ending for that is 17 million. And then 3rd year out, we end with 11 million. By then, we expect to have spent a lot of these grant sources that we already have in our accounts. And so that's why you see the big drop. But the note there at the bottom is that we have to start planning for looking at those associated expenses with the associated to the grants and addressing those. Because if we don't do that, then obviously our general fund reserve is what will have to pick up those costs that we don't address. Any questions on this one? So as a note, we're planning, we're looking at these things already. We've started addressing some of it last year, and we'll continue to do that. And so for second interim, we'll have perhaps a profile of what we're looking at. So this is a summary of our funds. And so straight from the top down, ASB fund. I'll show you, basically I'm showing you our balances. So for ASB, cumulative all schools, 155,000. Adult ed, 42,000. Cafeteria with reimbursements is doing well, $1.26 million. Deferred maintenance, $56. We're working on that one, and so that I'll report back to you in the coming months. Fund 291, that's our GEO bond fund. So we did the second issuance this year. We had some money there from the first issuance, so cumulative it's about 5.7 million. Capital facilities, 25, that's our developer fees. So any new construction that we get fees on, those dollars go there. So almost 700,000. School facilities, this Fund 35, that pays for the TK Kinder Hester project. And so you'll see the balance there is 1.28 million. That project is almost done. Hopefully we'll complete that soon, and Mr. Melendez obviously updates you on that. Special reserve, that's Fund 40. That's a fund that we're currently using for the new maintenance facilities project on Visalia Parkway, or Visalia Boulevard. Thank you. And the bottom two, bond interest 51, that pays for COPs and bonds, bond payments, and then any debt service goes into 56. So any fees that we have to pay on debt will go in there. That's $21,000. So this is a summary of all of our district funds. I first covered the general fund, and I focused most of my slides on that one. That's covering our daily operations. These are for specific things. Okay. So just a note on the reserve requirements of 3%. I'm showing you here what that dollar amount is for the next couple of years after this year. So 1.7 for this year, 1.6 for next year, and then again 1.6 for the 27-28. That's a 3% reserve minimum, which is one of the requirements for a positive certification for this report. So we have met that. Here's our cash flow. I'm really highlighting primarily the ending cash flow balance for this year, which is 22 million, represented in the final bar for June. So this is important because this means that we're able to pay our bills, and so we have positive cash flow. And again, the largest expense is salaries and benefits, and so that ensures that we're able to pay all of our employees. One of the other sections in this report is called the criterion standards, and so here the report is to really focus in on any changes, in particular enrollment, and so we've met the criteria for enrollment. We are projecting to sustain over the next couple of years. We know that we are looking forward to any development that the city has planned to help us grow our enrollment. For now, I think we're really looking at maintaining where we are, those enrollment levels. And so we met that criteria. Our attendance is pretty good. Generally speaking, it will float anywhere between 90 and 94%. So that ensures that we're getting paid at that rate. And then, again, salaries and benefits, we're looking at maintaining at a specific ratio, and we're at 82.8 right now. And then our fund and cash balances are positive, and so that ensures that we're able to pay all of our bills and operate from a positive position. So we've met all those compliance measures. So here, getting close to the end, just wanting to highlight what we plan to do. And so obviously we'll be looking at, as next steps, at any grant expirations, ensuring that any associated expenses sunset along with those grant expiration dates. So approximately a 34% revenue decrease, and so we'll be looking at those. In the past, we've been able to move some of those costs into other grant sources, and so if that's a possibility that is a benefit to the district, then those are things that certain strategies we can deploy when it's allowable. So we'll look at those grants as they come to term. Obviously, we'll continue to look at the LCFF revenue, which is based on enrollment and attendance, and monitor, make sure that we're not falling below a 90% attendance, that we're getting all of our students to class so we can get paid for that, and then ensuring that our enrollment stabilizes as well. We want to certainly ensure that we're not using one-time funds for ongoing costs. And so on the budget side, we'll look at those things as well, making sure we have some strategies to address the decrease in restricted revenues over the next couple of years. That way we are in a strong position, 3 to 5 years out. And so those are the main next steps and key recommendations. We have a positive certification, but those are things that we'll be looking at as a team and as a district. So finally, it's a positive certification. We expect this to be the trend for the year. We've reviewed this. It's a standard report per Ed Code, and so if approved, this goes to our county office, who also does a secondary review, and then goes to the California Department of Education after there. Any questions?
The TK building, the funding that we have, is that going to cover all the costs?
Yes. Yes. I mean, our projections are that it will cover all of the costs, yes.
Okay. And then you'll have to change the board president to Sabrina. It's all on her now?
Last page at the very bottom, we just switched that up.
You got it.
It's
Yes.
all on her now.
And I believe in the packet, we left it blank because we knew that the organizational meeting was gonna occur first, so, yeah, wrong name on the presentation. So next,
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just gonna say, good presentation, appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank you.
right, well, that was the presentation part. I know you'll move on to the next item, which is where you get to vote.
Do you guys have any questions? Mr. Alvarez, Mr. Espinoza?
Just a question, so our projections with our, new buildings, with the little kids, I know this county has it now, but we're gonna take over in about 3 years, right? Has that been put into?
It's a great question, and I think that's it's been a discussion, and I imagine that alongside our general education services department and staff, any program questions I think would be answered there. I think the intent is to have some skin in the game. I know our partner is the county office.
Right.
Yeah, so they are currently, we had the UPK funding for a bit. And that was for us to get this whole thing started, right, to get our 3.5-year-olds involved. And currently, Tulare County Office of Education, longstanding, have been doing it for a very long time. So they have taken over that with the intent that we, alongside them, learn, get everything going, and then partner throughout.
You say partner throughout, will it be turned over to us, or will it constantly be a partner forever, or what do you say?
We will always partner with Tulare County Office of Education, but the idea is for Farmers Unified School District to take that.
Take it over,
And that's been our number one conversation with them from the get-go.
which includes the ADA then for the kids,
Mhm.
yeah, okay.
The important piece of having Tulare County Office of Education is their history. I mean, they've been doing it forever. And for us, there's a correlation between students starting off that early and sticking with Farmers Unified School District. I think that was the intent of the board 4 or 5 years ago, and this, now we're in that reality stage, so we're very excited.
So can we raise the rent on it too every year? Can we raise the rent? No? Okay, that's your job. Okay.
So back to that, does Tulare County of Education keep the initial, like the money given for each student for that age group, or does that still channel through the district? I don't.
Yeah, so our partnership with them again is that they have the know-how and the ability at this point. So what we recognize the importance is our earlier correlation that those students will become Farmers Unified School District students when they become TK students and Kinder students. So to answer your question, they do.
But just to remind everybody, we did get them for rent. To upkeep the buildings, definitely.
Okay. I don't have any questions. You good? Okay, 15.2, approval of first period interim report and positive certification of financial status.
Motion?
Second?
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 15.3, approval of budget revision report number 3. Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by John Alvarez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 15.4, adoption of resolution number 6128-25 approving participation in the 2026 or 2027 classified school employee summer assistance program, CSE SAP.
Move. Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez, second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 15.5, Farmersville School District Facilities Condition and Action Plan, information only. 15.6, jurisdiction.
Wait, I think we-
Oh, you have a presentation? You guys need to tell me. We're ready for you. I was ready to go.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon again, board members, faculty. So, yes, we got a little presentation here. Again, you did receive the back-end package of the maintenance facility. As you know, as board members, we walked around, we assessed the sites, the buildings, the needs. We listened to the wants as well too, right? Yeah, so in packaging, we went through and I kind of listed it through, tier one, the number one things we started hitting a lot of those during our winter break. So, went through and we did some of the mold and recommendations, assessed those exterior mold and on the outside of the buildings on some of the sites, right? So we did Hester, we did Freedom, we assessed all those with contractors as well. So as I'm going through and to answer some of those questions, why can't we get those soon, right away? Well, we have to make sure when we do a modification to any type of building or portable classroom, we'll make sure that they meet the DSA needs. So if we do any ramp adjustments and so on, we want to make sure there's any updates and codes we have to abide by, we're going to follow those. So, being said that, we went through, and as you see at the first slide here, went to junior high school. That's in front of it. There was some much needed attention to it, as well as a lot of other portable classrooms. So that is now the front of the junior high. We had some painting and new boards applied to and replaced. There is some damage there in the front of the front office. We had water damage due to sprinkler and just weather, coming in front to that building. And there is showing, we replaced a lot of the T111 boards and added some fresh paint to it now. So, I know I'm trying to assess all the major things where the weather's we got water coming in, so we kind of preserve a lot of the building for now. There is at classroom number 1, so right away, that was must need to get some paint on there to preserve the remainder of that building. And there is the results of that. So yeah, adding a little paint makes a big difference, giving it some attention. We are slowly but surely gonna get there. I'm getting quotes from contractors and somebody else, and so else on doing the ramps. But these are our examples are at the junior high. There is our trees. Sorry, Ms. Lopez, we love our trees. I do. But this is kind of some of the problems that we come across with our trees. There's underground drains. There was, when we start getting this uncovered by the contractor, we noticed that gas line. That was pretty close call, pretty good size, getting close to it. So glad we got to catch that ahead of time. So we did a repair, and this is now on the right side. They kind of cleaned it all up. That's what it looks like there too. So we're going to be addressing it here on the next slide. You'll see we made some adjustments for water drainage that comes out from the gutters. And the first picture there you see on your far left-hand side, there was no drain going from the main. That line there, that's where we used to always had our pond, right to junior high. So now it's, we adjusted the drain, cleared the line all the way across to the main road. And so that drain goes from underneath the portable and it goes all the way out to the road. So we also added a second one, so it meets the drain needs from the gym that the gutters run off to into that area. So we have now accomplished that drainage issue there. Fortunately, here at Hester School, far east end playground area, these are the conditions of our summer trees. It looks somewhat healthy. They're old age, but the interior of the trees are starting to rot out, so it's becoming a safety issue. I know a lot of the trees that we have at the junior high too, you know, I've been talking to different contractors, tree service companies, and seeing, you know, how can we assess this? How many more years do we have with these trees? Unfortunately, you know, we're gonna have to look into starting to pull these down, replace them with new trees. Here we have at Snowden Elementary, unfortunately, these are the trees that were now aligned with the new parking lot structure and would also obstruct some of our solar parking lots. So those trees had to come on down. We saved and we did a lot of tree trimming due to safety. Our service company came and they topped off the top. They're starting to grow pretty heavy on top. So now that we don't have to worry about trees or limbs falling down on our kids, so we did those trimmings on those trees. This is what some of our trees look like as we walk through. As you remember, again, they're going over our rooftops. You know, they're getting heavy. Possibly could do some roof damage if they a tree limb broke and fell on the roof. So we have now trimmed them down quite a bit. You know, so we'll still try to preserve those trees for a couple more years, give us some shading, but now they've become a lot safer. They'll become an umbrella now and be more efficient. There's another picture, kind of just giving you overall, you know, look at from left to right. They were trimming down and getting that cleaned up. This is the TCOE building there, so it was kind of overgrown as well too. They've done that cleaning up there as well. And here we went to Hester. We discussed about the parking issues and, you know, wanted to meet the needs for the public. The far picture on the right side, I wish it was 100% the way results were, but due to conditioners, we can't, conditions of weather, couldn't apply that finished clean look during summer. So, but we still addressed the parking lot issue, and that's our results for now. You know, so now we have full public access. Public could come in here without having issues to find a parking spot to drop their kids off, meet with the site principal or counselors to come on into the building. This here is, we discussed about DCA having access for our teachers and students to come back on the back side there. And that's kind of, you see on the left-hand side, a picture which that gate was just installed today now. So, and tomorrow we'll be seeing cement in that area where the yellow lines are at. So we're gonna come along that site for that project for DCA. And here's the interior of our cafeteria, Freedom here. You know, this was kind of last minute assessing a lot of issues with floor damage, water damage along the edges. So we jumped on with the contractor, came on in, and as you see, there was quite a bit of damage along the floor. So a lot of the molding had to get pulled off, the older FRP panels and so on. You see damage from moisture there over the years, just mopping, cleaning, and so on. So we attended to that and gave it fresh paint from starting the interior of the doors, and now fresh paint to the interior of the walls as well too. So as today our team members, MLT, start actually doing the molding along the walls too to clean it up. So we'll give it a fresh and clean look now. Those are our doors. Right side is kind of like, you know, what we had. So left-hand side is out. Now we're kind of give that clean, sleek look, kind of give that cleaner presentation to everybody. That is the end of my slideshow. But, you know, like he has requested, give you guys a project timeline. I'll make sure I come back with that the following board meeting, give you an update with that as well. Any questions?
I had a question on the Freedom Elementary. You said there was water damage. Where was that coming from?
So there, on where the server line area there, there was a drinking fountain. Over the years of mopping or waxing that sheetrock, the water getting underneath the strip, or the sheetrock was absorbing a lot of moisture. It's starting to become brittle. Anytime a kid come walk by there, hit it, so on, it started kind of falling apart. We had some water, probably because the sprinklers are coming in and on the corner of the exterior, kind of penetrating inside. So we addressed that to seal the exterior and the interior of the building too. There's also damage by the restrooms where the drinking fountains, the hand wash stations, or there's a leak behind it in between the walls. So we addressed that, pulled that away, and it got re-sheetrocked and cleaned up and painted.
Thank you.
Mr. Zavala?
I really appreciate all that's going on. Yes, I love trees because they do provide a better
They do.
shade and comfort when you're out there.
I agree.
And so as long as you somehow find appropriate trees that provide shade, that'd be great.
I appreciate the hard work. I know it's a lot. It's not, our buildings are getting a bit older, and because of it, it's, the work is not gonna stop. So as long as we're on top of it, we'll get most
Yes,
of it.
it sounds good. Yeah, again, right now, I'm in the process of making, contact with contractors, getting those quotes and bids, making sure that we're complying with, again, like I said, all our, DSA, compliance and ADA compliances. That's our main concerns too. Yes, any other questions?
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
I used to climb those trees at the junior high when I was a kid.
Believe
And I
me,
have to try and climb one last
I
time.
walk around them myself, I'm sorry, so yes. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was just going. Okay, 15.6, jurisdiction and purchase a van for the specialized student transportation.
Move.
Motion.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Alice Lopez.
Yes.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 15.7, approval of certificated management public disclosure of tentative salary settlement agreement.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 5.8, approval of classified management public disclosure of tentative salary settlement agreement.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 15.9, approval of purchase program truck for expanded learning program.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion by Alice Lopez and a second by Merced Zamora. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 15.10, approval to lease employee, oh wait, that one we're deleting, right? Okay. Sorry about that. 17.0, future meeting dates, 17.1, January 13th, 2026, January 27th, 2026. Okay, make sure I'm 19.0, board policies. 19.1, approval of updates to board policy 6173, education for homeless children.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Freddie Espinoza. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. 20.0, adjournment to closed session at 6:07 PM. 20.1, conference with labor negotiator GC 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and to instruct its designated rep, agency designated representative Manuel Mendez, name of organization FTA/CSEA/management. 20.2, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, complaint, Government Code 54957. 20.3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant subdivision D, 2, and E of section 54956.9, one case, and 20.4, expulsion reentry. Okay, we're good with that. Okay, thank you. You are welcome to stay, or you're welcome to go.
Also, please,
take
thank
plate.
you everybody so
Yeah.
very much. There is a lot
Take a
of
Please take food.
things here. If you'd like to take
Food.
some home, appreciate it. Happy Monday, enjoy your football games.
Please.
Yep. Take some food.
Mr.
action taken on closed session items. 21.1, conference with labor negotiator GC 54957.6. It is the intention of the board to meet in closed session to review its position and to instruct its designated rep, agency designated representative, Manuel Mendez. Name of organization, FTA, CSEA, management. No action taken. 21.2, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, complaint, government code 54957. No action taken. 21.3, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D, 2, and E of section 54956.9, one case. No action taken. 21.4, expulsion, reentry, refer to items 11.2 on agenda, no action taken. Well, yes, we did approve an open session. Yes, thank you. And then 22.0, adjournment at 7:07 PM.
Motion, second.
You gotta cut that cord here.
I have a motion by John Alvarez and a second by Alice Lopez. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
That'll let me